Hello, besties. How are you tonight? I'm very excited to be recapping the three shows tonight: Potomac, Family Karma, and Southern Hospitality. And the reason why is because each and one of these shows had a celebratory theme on their episode. Let me explain to you why. On Potomac, Candiace is celebrating getting her Executive MBA from Howard University. That is a major accomplishment. I'm so happy for Candiace. She's always trying to do what is best for her career, and she focused on taking ownership of her music career to be able to deal with her business and be present at the table and have a voice. So she went ahead and got a degree. um, we also have in Family Karma, we have the bachelor party for Amrit and Nicholas. I'm so excited for this one, you guys, because there's so many great details to chat about that one, especially that huge inflatable cock. Hysterical. And on Southern Hospitality, we have the Alice in Wonderland theme tea party birthday for Grace that turned into a real hot tea, and the drama just went off the rails, and I was living for it because I enjoy petty drama. When the drama is just like super petty and it's over nothingness, I enjoy it. We know that they're friends, and as friends and co-workers, we are gonna have issues, and that's what this show is all about. It's Tuesday night. There's no Bravo show to watch, and I'm thinking, okay, let's do a special three three shows recap all at once, one after the other one, because we are going to celebrate the accomplishment of these Bravo labs. I mean, we don't only watch them to flip tables or you know being chased by the CIA and the FBI trying to take them to court for stealing money. We all also watch them to accomplish big positive things in their life. So in Potomac, the episode starts with the ladies are back from Miami. I'm happy they're back because that trip was so stressful. They needed somebody better to plan that trip because me, I'm sorry, as a trip planner, you dropped the ball. You were not in Miami. That was not South Beach. Well, that was more like southeast west in the middle of like the nothingness. The house was pretty though. That was a good thing on the trip. But now that they're back, they are having conversations about the trip, and one of those, it's between and Giselle and Miss Robin. They keep talking about Wendy and the fact that she didn't feel like Wendy didn't apologize properly and all this stuff. I'm kind of exhausted with Robin, and I'm gonna tell you why. This woman has the ability to ask for accountability, ask for apologies, and she has not done any of this. She sat down with Candiace to talk about how they went at each other on that amazing hot mic kind of moment that they had last week on the trip back to the house after the club. And Candiace sat down with her, and she showed that she was sad about it. She kind of apologized about it, and Robin didn't. She didn't apologize for what she did, and because let's be honest, that little the speaker moment that she was trying to have was so bad that she needed to apologize to us, the viewers, for for doing that. She was just like grasping for any resource to get Candiace. And to be honest, we saw that live stream and we know exactly what she said. And the way that Robin was trying to paint it was not it. That was not how it went down. That was not what Candiace was saying. On the conversation with Giselle, they were also celebrating their 1 million downloads of their very popular, reasonably shady podcast that I had never listened to. I asked on my Twitter who listened to that podcast, and maybe I got two responses of people saying that it's good because they don't talk about the housewife shows. That they talk about other stuff and it's fun sometimes. So props to them for actually having two listeners and not do what John Mellencamp's daughter does with Tamra with in the two T's on a pal or whatever it calls. That they recap episodes because I know I'm shamelessly recapping episodes, but I'm not a Bravo lab. I'm more like a Bravo viewer who is obsessed with Bravo shows, and I like to talk about it. But for somebody who is a Bravo lab and was on a Bravo show, and she promised not to talk about any of their shows the moment their contract was over, and we're still listening to her annoying voice every single day. Like, why don't you just follow your own words and just stop torturing us with your voice? I honestly cannot stand Giselle. And I'm going to tell you why. She is the type of person that is feeding Robin with this idea that they are always the victims. And as we all seen, they are not. When they talk in private, they always try to paint the other person as a villain. After the fact that they have pushed their buttons to the point of, exploding. I mean, believe it or not, even on the whole Mia versus Wendy, we have a moment of Robin just recording the conversation and we had Giselle supporting Mia. So there is always this mentality that they are, these victims or they are always, like above everybody else. And honestly, it's very, very upsetting. As a viewer, I don't care for Giselle. I mean, she's gonna stay. She's definitely one of the OGs and whatever. But I do not like her when she's too involved in producing. But on this episode, I'm gonna say something really nice about Giselle because I always give props when props are deserved. She shared her daughter's birthday, and you can tell that she loves her daughters. You can tell that she's raising these girls to be strong women out there in the world, and I appreciate that. So on that level, I enjoyed that birthday party. You know, it showed a different side of her, and we had seen it on the show. We had seen the way that she treat her daughters and the way that they interact. I mean, we've seen them grow on our TV. It's been 7 years. You know, we had seen them go from little girls to to teenagers, and it's amazing to feel like in some level we know these people, and we always wish them the best, especially the Bravo Labs kids. I mean, we had seen so many of them on our TV screens, and they were kids. We saw even one of them being born on our screens. I'm talking about Teresa's daughter. So it's very important to always highlight, at least in my case, when even somebody who I do not like is doing the right thing for their family, and it's building up, people that are going to be working really hard to create a better future. And I can tell that Giselle is, very involved in her daughter's lives, and that's how it's supposed to be. They need to be a positive image, at least in the house. it's really hard to think of Giselle as a person who supports other women, because we have seen it on the show that she's always going after the ladies that I personally believe are more successful than her. You know, we have Monique, we have Ashley at one point, we have Karen, we have Wendy, you know. So there is a pattern where I feel like Giselle is so insecure in what she has at home, and what she has accomplished in life, that she tends to go for those who are, accomplishing other things and being successful, like either with their families, with their careers. Um, so let me know. Let me know how you feel about that sentiment. I want to know if you guys feel that way too. It just, to me, it's just a pattern, and I don't know if I'm the only one who has noticed it. So I always appreciate when my listeners have the time to leave a comment, and that's what I want to know. If you go to my YouTube channel, if you go to my Twitter, please leave a comment about how you feel about Giselle not being very supportive of other women, especially those who we as viewers believe are more successful than her. Like I was saying before, we are celebrating on this episode Candiace's milestone. She got a degree from Howard University, an MBA. And at this party, there was a moment that I want to highlight, which is Ray speaking to Chris. And I might get some people upset about this, because I don't want to be that person that people think that I'm going to dismiss a woman's feelings, but that's not the case. I always believe women first. But we also have to be very objective when somebody is throwing the accusation of uh, some kind of like harassment. I don't know. I don't want to label it sexual harassment, because based on the way the Giselle had changed the story many times this past few episodes, I don't want to throw that word out there because that's a heavy allegation. So at the party, first off, Candiace's mom cracked me up when she saw a snake. And she said, I thought Giselle wasn't coming. There she is. And she pointed at the snake, and the editors, being messy, God bless the editors, because they are doing an amazing job this season. They literally put the little card, the name with Giselle moving around. I thought that was freaking genius, and it was amazing. They are playing. I mean, the editors are not playing. They keep the editing fresh. Every episode we find little things that they do that I'm honestly enjoying. So I'm hoping that you guys notice that too, because that was freaking genius. We also saw Robin and Wendy having that conversation about what they've been through and how they want to be there for each other and move forward with their friendship and all this stuff. And that's all great and hunky dory. I want to see how that lasts. But one thing that Wendy did not get was a true apology from Robin. The only moment that Robin even said I'm sorry was when Wendy, pretty much forced her to say it. So that is not a true apology. That is not saying I'm sorry because you mean it. That's saying I'm sorry because somebody else is telling you to do it so you can move forward. And like I said before, Robin is the master of asking for apologies and accountability, but she doesn't want to, step up and realize that she is also a big part of the problem. And she needs to apologize to the people that she's been messing with, especially this season, you know? And back to the Chris and Ray. I wanted to leave that at the end because I'm pretty sure, like I said before, I'm gonna get some people upset. But I don't think that Chris needs to apologize to Giselle. She doesn't deserve an apology. There's no reason. There's absolutely no reason for Chris to apologize to her because he doesn't have to apologize for how she feels. All that he can do at the moment is at least acknowledge that she was feeling in some way about the whole meeting with him after after the reunion. Hi Candy, my girl Candy Washington is here. How are you, girl? I love you. Thank you for joining. Yeah, that's my girl Candy. But continuing, yes, I was saying Chris doesn't need to apologize because I'm gonna explain you why. Especially for those who have worked in environments, like working environments where there is a possibility of a client, of a customer, having a little accident or something like that. For example, retail or hospitality. If you have worked in those environments, you know for a fact that you cannot say I'm sorry when somebody trips and fall, when somebody hurt themselves in the area, or somebody falls down the steps. As somebody who worked in that place, you cannot tell that person, I'm sorry that happened to you, because that is a liability for the business that you're working in. That is true. You are told to say, can I help you? Or let me get some help. Or do you want to start a process of a report? Do you want to fill a report with the accident? But you cannot say I'm sorry because that is a liability. Let's not forget that these people, before friends, they are co-workers. This is a business because they sign contracts to be in this show. So Chris saying I'm sorry for the way the Giselle feels is literally giving her the right to say he did something wrong. And based on the way that Giselle has changed the story, he didn't do anything wrong. She felt uncomfortable, but feeling in that way doesn't mean that he was truly trying to make a pass on her or try to be aggressive with her or anything like that. Let's not forget that she could have easily asked him to leave, or based on the story, she could have texted him back saying, you know what, there's nobody here, let's not talk about anything, my makeup artist or my glam is not present, I don't want to be by myself with a married man. End of the story. But she didn't do that. She waited for the cameras to roll to bring that up. And like I said before, those allegations are very strong. And if you are using that, if you are using just using your feelings to try to paint somebody as a somebody who can be harassing you, that is heavy. And for that reason alone, I don't think Chris should be apologizing. So when the producers keep asking him, so are you going to apologize to Giselle? I hope that he keeps saying no. He doesn't have to. The fact that Ray even approached him to talk about it at a party that it was for Candiace, for an accomplishment that she made, that degree from Howard University, like I said before, I think it was out of place. I mean, you can talk about this. You can talk about how Giselle felt. If Roy wanted to bring that to his attention, he should be like, you know what? Maybe talk to Giselle. Ask her why she felt that way. Talk it out and move on. No apology is needed. You just have to acknowledge her feelings. Period. That's the end of it. When I posted on Twitter about this, somebody said to me that that is not how grown-ups work. And I'm saying this is not just a grown-up situation. This is a co-worker situation. This is somebody's reputation. And we cannot just damage somebody's reputation based on feelings. If there's not an action, if there is something to support these feelings, this can be a conversation. Yes, it needs to be had. I do agree that Giselle deserves her feelings to be acknowledged. I do think that Giselle and Chris should have a conversation where both of them come to the table, explain why they felt that way, and move on. And that should be the end of it. I don't know if you agree with me. If you agree with me, let me know. Or if you don't agree with me, let me know too. Because that's the whole point of this conversation. I want to make sure that both sides of the coin are welcome to the table, and they know that you can talk to me about anything because I respect people's opinion. My opinion on this matter is Chris doesn't need to apologize to Giselle, period. He can acknowledge her feelings. The end. So let me know how you feel about that part. And that was an intense reaction because we saw Chris pretty much storming out of the party saying like, what the fuck? Like, why do we need to talk about this right now? And people keep saying that Giselle doesn't bring it up. That, it's always somebody else who brings it up, either Ray, producers, Candiace or Chris or something. But we wouldn't be talking about this if Giselle didn't brought it up in the first place. She's smart on doing this. She's smart on producing this type of messiness because she knows that she planted the seed of of this trust to make people not trust what Chris does. And it's really sad to see the other ladies piling up on this, because then we have Ashley with the whole Instagram story, which we all have talked about this. That reply that he had for the story, it wasn't anything sexual, more like an invitation to come hang out at the place that I work at, because guess what? That's good advertisement for the place that I'm in, and that means that he is doing a good job. That's part of his job. Literally, that's part of his job, to invite people to come and hang out at at the lounge or whatever, the bar. And then we have Mia trying to say that Chris was nonstop looking at her, and producers made sure that us as viewers knew that he wasn't looking at any point. Literally, he was looking away, looking at Candiace, drinking, whatever cocktail he was having, but there was not an instance of Chris looking at Mia. And then, because the whole Mia thing did not work and the Ashley scene fell flat and it didn't land, then Ashley now is thrown into the mix the fact that he made a pass or might have made a pass or something on her friend. And trust me, like I said before too, I want to make sure that while we are having this conversation, people know that I always believe women first. But there is something inconsistent in these stories. And I do not like when somebody's reputation is put on a chopping block where the whole world is watching, and he might lose more than just a spot on a show. Because these shows, even though they're reality TV shows, we know that there is a production behind it. We know that even the cast decide who they want to go after. And people are watching it thinking that this is 100% the reality of their lives. And that's why we see so many people on these shows losing it all. They lose their jobs, they lose their incomes, they lose their families. They, marriages are, going to divorce. We saw on Miami how Lisa and Lenny are going through this nasty ass divorce. And we're watching it. So honestly, we need to take allegations seriously, and we need to be very objective when something like that is, spoken into the universe. Let's move on from Potomac, just because we already spoke up the whole thing for too long. I think I can go for hours. But let's move on to Family Karma. I love Family Karma. That's one of my favorite shows on Bravo TV. On the last episode, we had Amrit and Nicholas bachelor party. They're having a great time in Fort Lauderdale. It's literally gay heaven. They have a beautiful place to stay. They have a pool. All their friends are there, but there's one person missing, and maybe the most important person to Amrit, which is Vishal. They share photos from when they were kids, and I think it's really cute. I think it's really awesome when casts are formed by real friends and not just Bravo picking and choosing who they want to, throw into the mix. Like, these are people who know each other for a very long time. So Andre is very, very hurt with Vishal because he did not show up for the first night of the bachelor party. But Brian showed up and Rishi showed up, and they had a great time in a gay bar. And I'm gonna give props to these two stray boys. It takes balls, real man balls, to go into an environment that you might feel uncomfortable because that's not your typical place for straight guys to go to, like a strip club, a gay strip club. I mean, you see penis, you see butt. There is a lot of lap dancing going on, and a lot of straight guys don't have the confidence to do that because they feel like, oh, they're gonna try to, like, get with me or touch me or something. And let me remind you one thing: no, we're not trying to. If you are not if you set your boundaries, people respect your boundaries. So keep that in mind, straight guys who are listening. Maybe the one or two straight guys who watch Bravo, the Bravo bros, who I love. They're awesome. Bros. Um, but yeah, it takes a true confident guy to go into that environment and not feel like they need to run out of the place. Funny part is, even Brian said, I can get into a thong and do this whole pirouette situation and make some money. They even spoke about OnlyFans, Brian and Rishi, and I think it's hysterical because, I mean, I'll pay for that. Just saying, Brian, you have a possible customer here. The next day, they have a pool party, and Vishal arrived with that gigantic, what's it called? Like, those inflatable cocks. It was a 6 feet tall one, and he was sneaking out of the roof of the car. And they said that they had to drive a couple of hours with that thing sneaking out. So I can only imagine the fun ride. Well, the passengers of the other cars are looking over and they see this huge dick sticking out of the car. Henri obviously did not welcome Vishal with open arms to the party. He was very upset, and he said he was trying to avoid having that conversation. Thank God for Bali. She is the voice of reason in that group, and the perfect, I would say, auntie, able to mingle with the younglings. I don't even know if that's a word, but the ducklings. I don't know. The young people. Yes, I mean, she's the perfect woman to be hanging out with all these, like, early 30-year-old kids, and she is able to also hang out with the aunties, like, the older aunties. She told Vishal, like, hey, you need to go and, I mean, he told Amrit, you need to go and talk to Vishal. Like, I mean, it sucks, but he's here. And they also got into a really deep conversation, which is Vishal's drinking. We spoke about this in the previous episode, um, where, Risha is very, um, she has a very strong opinion about Vishal's drinking. And she asked him to stop drinking or she's not signing the marriage license, which is a big deal. Technically, if you don't sign that, you're not married. So it's like they are married, but they not truly are, because legally you need those papers to be signed. And she gave him an ultimatum. That was the reason why he didn't go the night before, because he felt like he was gonna, you know, fall into drinking by being around all these people and the peer pressure of being around alcohol, which is, I mean, it's a valid reason, but I mean, Enrit and Vishal are friends since like they were kids. And I'm going to agree with Enrit on this one. I will hate if my best friend didn't show up in such a big moment in my life. So Vishal opened up to him and told him that the reason why he didn't show up was because he feels like he is heading towards alcoholism or not being able to handle alcohol, and in the way that it might be possibly hurting his health, and that he wants to start the process of healing. And it's great. It's great that he's making those steps, because alcohol, it's a serious thing to easily fall into a bad habit. You can get really hooked in alcohol real quick. And if you can't handle it, and if you see that it's affecting your life, maybe it's time to take two steps back and make your health a priority, which is what Vishal is doing. I think they are gonna fix this. I mean, they are friends from childhood. But I really hope that they have the time to enjoy this trip, because it's so fun. I want to be there. I want to be there. There was a pool, there's cocktails, there's drinking, there's partying, there's fun. There's drag queens and drag shows and all this stuff. I'm all for it. I love this. If you're listening, Amrit and Nicholas, invite me to your next party down in Florida, because you guys seems to be a fun time. Bali, on the other hand, she took the opportunity to sit down with Rishi and literally lay out for him that if he fucks with Monica, he is out. She told him straight to his face, you fuck with her, our loyalty is with her, she is our friend, you are not. And that is a true friend. That's what a true friend does. She's not out there gossiping about it. She's not out there pushing the story about about Rishi cheating on Monica or anything like that. She went straight to him and said, I heard this about you. You seem to be a nice guy, but if you are cheating on my friend, my loyalty is with her, and pretty much every single person in this party, loyalty goes to her. You're just here because of her. And good for her. Good for Bali. I love her. She's a queen. She's always making really fun comments. Like, she didn't dress up that hideously to be talking about Bishal and Risha. Which, by the way, I'm very confused, because the theme of the bachelor party was supposed to be 90s, and all I saw was very 80s dress code, like neon and kind of like the spandex, and the crop top and all this stuff. And I'm thinking maybe they didn't get the memo that neon and all the stuff were 80s. I'm confused by the dress code. It was supposed to be 90s, but we end up with a let's get physical type of party with all the 80s look. I love that show. I'm gonna keep pushing it, you guys. Watch Family Karma. It's an easy watch. Every season is 8 to 9 episodes and they're easy to watch. The drama is great. They are real friends. They are real families. And that's what makes great TV, because they're not trying to force the story. The stories happen because they know each other for such a long time. And moving to another show based on the dynamics of a group that knows before the show started is Southern Hospitality. And before we start, I want to wish TJ a happy birthday. Today, December 13th, is his birthday. And I mean, he's truly competing with Grace. God damn it. Because last night was the episode where we were celebrating Grace's birthday with her Alice in Wonderland tea party. While they were celebrating his birthday at the watch party down in South Carolina, and his birthday is today. So these two are even on that, they're having competition. I think it's hysterical. But yes, Southern Hospitality is the newest Bravo show, and honestly, if you're not watching it, you're missing out in one of the best cast in the latest like shows the Bravos has released. They are young, fun. They're working at a restaurant. Yeah, that sounds like Vanderpump Rules. It is a little bit, but not like latest season. More like the first few seasons where we fell in love with every single person in that show. That's how this one is. Every single cast, it's amazing. Every single one brings something different to the table. And on this episode, Grace brought the tea to the table, technically and literally, with a tea party. She invited Mikhail to help her organize the flowers, and that's when they're talking about how he felt about TJ. He made fun of TJ, saying that he's limped or something with the flowers. It's really funny. Mikhail has no freaking chill. I think he's hysterical how he's going hard on TJ. He got a phone call from Leva because Joe got his back, you know, he hurt his back for trying to show off to the girls at the gym. And this is a reminder, don't do that. It hurts. And it's not cute when you're trying to show off and then you fuck your back. Don't do it. But yeah, Mikhail got the opportunity to be a VIP host once again, just to cover for Joe. Not that many people were happy, including TJ. And basically, the only person that was truly happy for him was Maddie. And I like that. I like that she supports him. Because in the past few episodes, we see that many of the cast members are not very happy with him coming back because they feel like he's not taking his job seriously, or he doesn't care truly about his job at Republic. And TJ said something last week about how he sees hospitality as his real career. Like that's how he sees himself, moving up in in his life. So that's why I feel like there is this animosity between him and Mikhail, because they both are interested on their future and they are really committed to their job in the restaurant business, but in two different levels, and they express it in two different ways. And that comes down to their personalities. You can tell that TJ is like more reserved. Um, he has a more like a shy personality based on what I see on the show. I'm not saying that he's shy because I never met him in person, but based on what I see on the show, he has more like a quiet persona, a shy persona, but that can also throw some major shade and be sassy. On the other side, we have Mikhail, who's very outspoken, is like a ball of energy. He says what he's on his mind 24/7. So that might conflict in the dynamic of the two of them. And it's not like Mikhail is not taking his job seriously. It's just like the way that he is portraying it might seem like he is, making a joke out of everything. And TJ seems to be more like a serious person. So that's what's happening. At the party, they're having a good time. Leva arrived with a fashion photographer as a gift for Grace. Which, by the way, she's like the new Supreme. Remember on American Horror Stories, Coven, and they said like when one Supreme dies, a new Supreme rises. And that's how I feel with Grace. I don't know who the old Supreme was. Could be anybody. And I'm talking about non-housewife shows. But the way that Grace can deliver on a confessional, the way that she has this amazing personality. She's young, she's fun, she's cute, she's hot. She can read people. She can throw some sass on her confessionals. I love that. So she has all the potentials to be a new Supreme in the Bravo universe. We have many Supremes in the Bravo universe. We have many. Ariana from Vanderpump Rules, she's my Supreme. She's my girl. I love her. So Grace is like, she's going to be in that group of Supremes. Lala. We have Katie. We have Bali on Family Karma. And now we have Grace on Southern Hospitality. I'm here for it. That tea party turned sour or hot so quick because they decided to play a game where people wrote secrets or stuff that somebody says and they wanted to reveal. One of the most interesting to me was the fact that allegedly, I don't have the pictures or the receipts to back this up, but based on the commentary of many of the cast members, including Mia, who happens to misspell Charleston for his dad. So funny. His dad is an icon. Her dad is an icon. Her dad is freaking hysterical. And allegedly, Will has a big cock. Yes, they said that Will has a big dick, and Emmy didn't deny it. So there has to be some truth behind it. Good for you, Emmy. Good for you. I'm here for you. You and your 5 times sex a day. Lucky, lucky you. I don't have the energy, you guys, for that. I don't know how people do it. I don't know if it's true. I don't want it. 5 times sounds like an Olympic race that I don't want to be part of. And I don't have the energy for it. But good for you. I'm here for you. I'm rooting for you. Keep doing it 5 times a day. Because his will is really packing. Good for you. The other one was that there is people that do not deserve to be working at Republic. And that's when the shit hit the fan. Poor Mikhail felt that that was directed to him from TJ. And I'm going to tell you one thing. I'm going to share something with you guys. I have a feeling that TJ didn't write that. I can be wrong, but that's my feeling. I think he didn't write that. I think he probably might have said it, but he he said it not only about Mikhail, he also said about Grace. But it's really interesting how Mikhail felt like it was directed to him. And his reaction was in I was shocked because I wasn't expecting him to literally do the tossing of the water that is becoming a signature of Bravo shows. We had it pretty much in every show for the past month. We had it on Potomac, we had it in Salt Lake City. Yeah, Potomac, we have Mia and Wendy. On Salt Lake City, we had Jen and NGK. Now we have on Southern Hospitality, Mikhail and TJ. So that was shocking. I I I don't like when people do that. I don't think it's the reaction that we should have when we are in an argument. The last thing that I'm going to do is toss a glass of water at you. But if you cross me, I'm not only tossing the glass of water, I'm literally flipping the table, so do not cross me. But at that point, I don't think that that was necessary. I do agree that he is probably tired of feeling judged by the cast because it must be exhausting to be working with people that look at you like you don't deserve to be there. So, on that level, Mikhail has all the right to be upset about all the gossiping that is been happening behind his back. But I'm hoping that this situation triggers a conversation, meaning I still believe that Mikhail and TJ are gonna become really close because usually that type of energy, when you have that type of energy against somebody else, at the end of the day, there has to be a level of love for caring that much. If somebody talks about me, I usually don't care. But if somebody that I care for, that hurts. And that's what I believe that is happening here. I think they both care about each other in different levels, and they're hurting for to find that point of okay, we need to sit down and talk. And I believe that this was the cherry on top of the ice cream that is going to make them get to the point of, you know, to realize that they are actually friends and they care for each other. That's what I'm hoping for. Do you believe that though? Do you agree with me? If you do, go to the comments, leave a message on Instagram, Twitter. You know where to find me. You know where to find Martinez with Eddie. Before I go, I just want to remind you to keep watching non-housewife shows. Support those shows because they're really good. If you're not watching Southern Hospitality, you are missing out. Truly is an amazing show, and it has the potential to be a multi-season show if you give this cast the opportunity. Honestly, go watch Family Karma, go watch Southern Hospitality. They are great shows. If you haven't started watching Southern Hospitality, you have the opportunity to watch the episodes on Peacock, and there's only 3 out. It will take no time for you to catch up with what's happening right now and watch it while it's airing because it's such a great show. I feel so bad for Grace though. She was like, "This is not the type of birthday that I wanted. I never had a birthday like this. It was like the birthday from hell." That was what I tweet as a little like a little throwback to Beverly Hills iconic The Dinner from Hell. This is like the baby version. This is like if the Dinner from Hell had a baby, this will be the baby. Oh my gosh, the drama on Southern Hospitality is so good. And I'm so excited for it because, like I mentioned before, I'm planning a trip to Charleston to visit Leva's restaurant with a group of content creators. So you are going to see a lot of content coming up. I will let you know the dates that we're going after it's all settled because I don't want to spoil it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, besties, that's it for tonight. That's it. We got to recap, Potomac, Family Karma, Southern Hospitality, and remember on Thursday I'm recapping Miami and Salt Lake City. This Thursday, I'm gonna be recapping Miami and Salt Lake City. On Friday, I have Larry from Bravo by Gay. We're gonna go live at 7 p.m. this Friday the 16th. Yes. So like I always tell you guys, bye besties.